Hopeful apprentice, your skill with the brush has come at a much needed time. Darkness is falling upon these lands. The power of light must be utilized to combat this plague. Using your brushmanship, pick your colors and control your values to bring life back to this afflicted terrain. Now brave one, go forth and paint.
Hey everyone, it's Cam again, and welcome to the quest guide for the power of light. So in this quest we're looking at the color palette, the color picker, adjustment layers and adjustments, and then get into some fun stuff with an isometric drawing, and I'll have also a little bonus demo of 3D paint over. So to begin with, you want to open up this worksheet that you can see on the screen now. So this worksheet is available via the link in the description. Simply unzip it and open the PSD. You'll also see within that zip folder is a PAT folder, which is for creating patterns, and that can help you for creating an isometric grid for your isometric drawing. Alright, so the first task is to simply open the color palette, so window color, and there it is. Alright, so you can see the color palette has these sliders here. So we can choose color via this means, or we can use the sliders. Well, you've also got the different modifications of the slider, so RGB, lab sliders, so forth. I tend to settle with hue, saturation, brightness, as it gives me all the control I need. Can adjust the darkness of the color, the saturation, and which color it is. Click this little icon here, we get the color picker, and we can also adjust this by clicking these little buttons here. Navigate with the sliders, and then when you're happy with the color, just simply click OK. Now we're going to look at making a little mini palette. The mini palette is sort of mimicking a oil painter's palette. So on a new layer, we can just paint a bunch of colors that are going to work well within a color scheme for a painting. We can also just pick colors straight off a photo. Generally you want to pick, if you are picking from a photo, you want to pick them all from the same photo, and that way it's generally going to be harmonious. If you want to know more about color theory and that, I mean, there's tons of stuff on the web, so you can find out all about complementary color schemes, analogous, all that good stuff. And to create a swatch, just click that when you've got your color of choice and it'll fill up there. So that's an alternative means if you want to create a palette. Or you can create that palette on a whole another document and pick from there. Alright, so we're going to hide the color picker tasks, say that that's completed, and then move on to adjustments. So adjustments are a quick, easy way of bringing some color in or changing the lights and darks and things like that. But the best way to find out what they do is to experiment with them. So if we go down to this little icon here, looks like a cut in half semicircle, and the layers palette, click there. For this demonstration I'm just going to choose color balance, and we just want to make it affect this little 3D block out here. So hold an Alt, clicking between the layers, it's now affecting this image, and then we can affect things like bringing blue into the shadows, maybe bringing some warmer tones into the highlights for a nice contrast. And we can also adjust where that layer is affecting by clicking the mask, this rectangle icon here, and then using black we can hide areas, using white we can show areas, and anything in between is going to give us the in-betweens. Alright, so that's just affecting the opacity. good thing about using the mask is, as opposed to eraser, which can't really be undone further down the line, this way we can, if we're not happy with it, just completely paint it back over, like so. We can still adjust these later on down the track, whereas you wouldn't be able to do that by going image adjustments. Now, got to our isometric drawing. I'm not going to go too much into this or the demo right now until after the next part, but yeah, you'll see me do the whole time lapse creating the isometric drawing. But for now, I'm just going to introduce it. So an isometric drawing, you may be familiar with old school RPGs in this style. So the style I'm talking about is like this. So you'll see a lot of mobile games coming out now use this sort of isometric style. And if you want to use a more extreme angle or a less extreme angle, you have the option of these grids here. I'll just close that sketch layer. So you can draw like a fully top down one, 15 degree, 20 degree or 30 degree, and those patterns are available in the zip file within the worksheet. Alright, so I'll give you a further demonstration after this next part. Alright, so let's have a look at this bonus part. Now, if you don't want to draw the isometric drawing, you can also just use this 3D base, or, you know, I'm not saying you have to do anything, like, it's your choice, but these are just suggestions here for the quest and for your learning. So I've created this 3D blocky out here, which was made in Blender. Blender's a 3D program, open source, so it's free to use. I'm not going to go too much into how I made it, but it's pretty easy to learn. There's lots of tutorials out there. But yeah, you've got these different choices of 3D bases you can paint over that I've provided.
Before you set on your journey, subscribe to this channel. Now, go forth and paint.